up, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today, one of the most requested stories of the day today, and that is all the reporting on this quote-unquote fake acid attack prank. And this story revolves around 22-year-old Arya Masala. He's a YouTuber who on his channel described himself as a boy with a camera and a dream. And that boy has racked up over 600,000 subscribers by seemingly being what many people call a professional prankster. But if you actually look at his videos, it looks like he's more of just a professional asshole. He has a range of videos, some of them including his amazing video, stepping on people's shoes, smacking people's drinks, it's a multi-part series, eating people's food. And so just again, before moving forward, that's not a prank, that's you being an asshole and filming it. There is a difference, right? Like if I walk up to Arya and I punched him in his dick, that's not a prank, that is assault. If I took Arya's food and or shoes, that's not a prank, that is theft. This is why we've been saying for a very long time, common sense isn't so common anymore. But this story isn't about the past, it is about the present. And presently, people are angry at Arya for throwing water in people's faces. Not an awesome thing in general, and definitely not a fantastic thing to do in London. We've talked about it on the show before. London has seen a massive rise in acid attacks. Last year set a record, but it appears Arya is chasing those views. The first video went up 7 months ago, got over 8 million views, over 200,000 likes. That then led to a second video, which was put out 3 weeks ago with a promise of a third if it got enough likes. And the premise of the video, very simple. He goes around with cups or a bottle of water and he throws it on people's faces. In one example, he goes up to a group of women, he asks a question, and then he just throws water in all their faces. There's one where he acts like he trips, a woman goes up to him to see if he's okay, he then throws water on her face, and you get the point, he's just being a dick the entire video. And in general, the video initially was received fine because as we've discussed with pretty much any other creator out there, inside that creator's bubble, it's fantastic. But once it breaks out of that bubble of everyone going, oh, this is fantastic, this is okay, there were tons of people pissed off by this video. Many people in general disturbed that he would just do this to people trying to mind their own business, people actually trying to help him. Others saying he's taking advantage of the current climate of people genuinely scared of acid attacks in London. You're gonna get massive reactions based off of the genuine surprise in that moment and then the fear that they just got hit with acid. Now, as we're recording this video, YouTube has taken the video down. This, they say, for violating YouTube's policy on harassment and bullying. And to that I would say, YouTube, just look at the guy's archive. The first video where he's doing this, it got over 8 million views, is still up. All the other videos where he's seemingly accosting strangers on the street, those are still up. Rather than demonetizing people's coming out stories and people explaining their political point of views, maybe, I don't know, maybe crack down on fuckfaces just harassing people in public. Now, as far as all the headlines saying that Arya did an acid attack prank, I think that is a stretch. He didn't label it as such, he's not marketing it as such. I'm sure some of the victims, if they are real, thought that it might have been at first. But if these videos are real, it's 100% harassment and it shouldn't be embraced on site or in real life. Also, a final note I want to hit on, especially when it comes to channels like this, there is the possibility of all these things being fake. That is literally Arya's only out here. And it is a possibility. He's one of those guys that uploads those bullshit videos where it's like they play a game with random girls on the street and then they maybe have to like flash him or kiss him. Because, you know, life is exactly like porn apparently. That's a totally real video. But even if we say that it's fake, because these are done in public, not everyone is in on it. And when the person we're talking about, Arya, also has videos where he does the fake bomb prank, whether it be his drive-by bomb scare prank or his seasonal Santa bomb prank, it's still something that YouTube needs to stomp out. Also, we now have a new update to this story. Arya has now officially released his response in video form. And in this video, it appears that he's moving forward with the pranks are real. He's trying to paint himself as a victim, and then he accidentally proves the point of why his channel should be shut down.
All of the media companies literally slandering my name for literally a prank that was meant to be funny, and a lot of people found it funny, and all I've done in the prank was literally pour water in a cup, a Subway cup, and I threw it on a couple of people's faces, which they found as a joke. Cool.
A quick note I want to hit there, slander is not when a company or person explains what actually happened in a situation and it makes you look like a dickhead. Now, if what they were saying was false, then yes, but that's not the case, and you even admit to it.
Yes, I accept that I shouldn't have done it at this moment of time. Have you guys not seen all my videos? If you're trying to say, like, one video offended you guys, then all my videos will literally like anal you guys. You're crying over one video that was a joke and was not even meant to be for like these old boring people. I've done a bomb prank back in the day which got no attention. But what, now because this video got attention, you wanna start slandering my name? No, it doesn't work like that. No, I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I've been doing videos and pranks. I've been doing harsher pranks. I've been doing way more controversial pranks that has not been deleted or nothing, not even unmonetized. And the fact that just because it's getting a lot of attention and YouTube doesn't want a bad name for it, you're gonna go ahead and listen to all these people, all these guys who are just boring and like they don't even no, it doesn't make sense.
His defense seems to primarily be based on, I've done a lot worse stuff. I've also monetized that content, by the way, YouTube. I don't know if you knew that. Even bomb pranks. Now, because boring people who don't find fake bomb pranks and just harassing people in public funny, I got my video taken down. He then says he needs support from his audience, which he considers family. He also said it's wrong that YouTube's taking his videos down. He then tries to connect to Logan Paul. Aria and anyone else watching, I'll give you this very easy tip. PR a la DeFranco. When you're getting in trouble for one thing, the best way to defend yourself is not to say that you've done worse shit. Like if you get caught stealing a sandwich, a proper defense is not, I don't know why you're freaking out, it's not like I stole a baby again. That's not a defense, that's an admission of guilt. But that said, that's a story, that is my opinion, and I'll pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this? But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, of course, a fantastic ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They put them all in one place, each one gets a 0 to 100 score so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. So whether you're looking towards the summer, maybe some Justin Timberlake, some Kendrick Lamar, maybe you don't have plans for Valentine's Day, or maybe you're like me and you don't celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day because that's the easiest way to be incredibly frustrated. Too many damn people, and also if your significant other is not okay with that, get out. You're not aware yet, that's gonna be a nightmare. But my random anger towards Valentine's Day aside, if you wanna check this out, go to SeatGeek.com/Phil, download the app, use offer code Phil, and you will get $20 off your first ticket purchase. And the first bit of awesome is we got a trailer for When We First Met. It's a new movie coming out on Netflix with Adam Devine, Alexandra Daddario. It's a love story plus time travel released on a subscription service I already have. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Then we got a trailer for the movie Unsane. It's a psychological thriller. It seems really trippy, and what's really amazing is that it was all shot in an iPhone. We then got a featurette for the upcoming movie Annihilation. Then we had the slow-mo guys doing some slow-mo smashing with magnets. And if you want to check out the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything I talk about today, links as always are in the description down below. Then tech billionaire who may or may not be an evil genius trying to take over the world, Elon Musk, was in the news. When most people think of Elon Musk companies, if they're thinking back in the day, they think PayPal. If they think now, they're thinking Tesla and SpaceX. But he also has another company called The Boring Company, a company that says it wants to solve the transportation problem by drilling holes in the ground and making tunnels. Right on the company's FAQ page, it states, a large network of tunnels many levels deep would fix congestion in any city no matter how large it grew, just keep adding levels. The key to making this work is increasing tunneling speed and dropping costs by a factor of 10 or more. This is the goal of The Boring Company. Right, and it's a big goal, and that price problem is a real problem. To dig a tunnel for about like a mile, some projects cost as much as $1 billion per mile. So we hadn't heard much about the company for a little while, and then Elon Musk makes an announcement on Saturday, sharing a picture of his official Boring Company flamethrower. Then sharing a link where for $500 people can pre-order their own flamethrower. Now for those wondering, is this real? Is that even legal? Well yeah, it appears that it is very much real, and it does appear that it is legal. According to the ATF, as long as you have a flamethrower that does not shoot a flame over 10 feet, you're good. I guess the idea being that for 10 feet and under, this is just for next level s'mores and creme brulee. At 11 feet though, that is a crime. And people just ate this up very shortly after Elon Musk tweeting 1,000 pre-order, then 2,000, then 4,000. And according to reports this morning, Elon Musk has sold $4 million in flamethrowers so far. And even after hitting that number, he would still have 12,000 flamethrowers left to sell. And I will say I'm torn on this. Having done this show for a while, I know that people have done very stupid things with far less. Right, I know it's a wild theory to think that thousands of people with no previous flamethrower experience kind of buying one as a gag could end up horribly for a few. They're grown-ass people in control of their own lives. Hopefully, if they hurt anyone, it's just themselves. On accident, I'll save you the angry email. But on the other side of this, I kind of love it because Elon Musk is what I want out of a billionaire. He's a visionary, but also just kind of an eccentric, weird troll. Like The Boring Company was created because Elon Musk just had a random idea. He tweeted about it, next thing we knew, it was a company. Now, seemingly with no explanation, that company that is supposed to be dedicated to just tunnels makes a flamethrower. It doesn't make any sense. It's like if Pizza Hut came out with condoms. Thank you, but why? And online, he's just messing with the entire group of people that think this is a bad idea. Tweeting, obviously a flamethrower is a super terrible idea. Definitely don't buy one. Later adding, unless you like fun. On Instagram, he posts a video with the caption, don't do this. Also, I want to be clear that a flamethrower is a super terrible idea. Definitely don't buy one, unless you like fun. And the video is of him playing with the flamethrower and then jokingly running at the person filming him while the flame is on. Then going back to Twitter to tweet, the rumor that I'm secretly creating a zombie apocalypse to generate demand for flamethrowers is completely false. you'd need millions of zombies for so-called apocalypse anyway. Where would I even get a factory big enough to make so many? And I guess for now, that's where that story ends until the people who pre-ordered a flamethrower from a tunnel company get said flamethrower, and at least one of those people will be stupid. Also, just after finishing that sentence, I am reminded once again, 2018 has been very hard to predict thus far. And then let's talk about why Volkswagen VW is back in the news. Now, you might remember the massive VW scandal back in 2015, 2016, where essentially they just lied to the world. In September of 2015, the EPA released a report that accused Volkswagen of using software to detect when the car was being tested and turn on its full emissions control in order to pass emissions tests. It's generally called a defeat device, and it's cheating. It's like if you were a professional athlete and when they were doing like a pee and a blood test to see if you've been doping, your brain could go, oh shit, we're about to get caught. Here's some clean pee and blood so we don't get caught. Except in that athlete example, the only person potentially being hurt is that athlete and or maybe their opponent, whereas with Volkswagen, the environment and people were the victim. This wasn't a small cheat. The engines produce around 40 times more emissions while on the road during standard use than when the defeat device was running during controlled tests. As a result, there was a Justice Department investigation that led to charges of conspiracy to defraud, obstruction of justice. In January of 2017, Volkswagen pleads guilty. They're fined $4.3 billion. The fines are also still being added to by different lawsuits. By September of 2017, they hit around $30 billion. But oh, boys and girls, the story is not over. Last week, there was a report on one of the tests Volkswagen had attempted in order to pass the emissions test. So in 2012, after a World Health Organization report came out that classified diesel emissions as a carcinogen, the European Research Group on Environment and Health in the Transport Sector, or EUGT, hired the Loveless Respiratory Research Institute. Now, a massively important note regarding EUGT is that they receive all of their funding from Volkswagen, BMW, and Daimler, which is the parent company of Mercedes-Benz. And they were tasked with comparing emissions from a late model Volkswagen with those of a 1999 Ford diesel truck. And in 2014, the tests began. They took 10 monkeys and they gassed them. They were put in locked chambers with diluted emissions. To keep them docile, they would watch cartoons. Also, quick note, if you want to see more on this test, more on this situation in general, there is a new doc series on Netflix called Dirty Money. The first episode covers this VW scandal. It is incredibly well done. I highly recommend it. Now, the really crazy part of this experiment aren't the two things that already stand out. One, the car that was supposed to look like the clean car compared to the old dirty car had a cheat device in it. It's not they were essentially gassing monkeys with exhaust. It's that the original design and idea for this experiment involved it happening to human beings. This is something Stuart Johnson, a VW exec, admitted they talked about. They had a proposed plan and diagram. Also, when he was asked questions about this, he says in retrospect, the optics weren't great.
In retrospect, the optics aren't very good.
And I find that funny because, well, two reasons. The first being it'd be bad optics for anyone. But it's also extremely bad optics that thanks to VW funding, a German company, a company that was actually jump-started thanks to Hitler, proposed putting a human being in a box where they were going to be gassed. Now that specific idea ends up dying, but they still conduct another test. EUGT ends up testing the effects of nitrogen dioxide on people. They get 25 healthy people, they inhale nitrogen dioxide in different doses over the course of hours. In response to these reports coming out, Daimler issued a statement saying, "We are appalled by the nature and extent of the studies and their implementation. We condemn the experiments in the strongest terms." Volkswagen saying in a statement, "We believe that the scientific methods used to conduct the study were wrong and that it would have been better not to undertake it at all." And the chairman of Volkswagen Supervisory Board added, "Whoever is responsible for this must of course be held accountable." My response to that is, how can they act surprised and act like there's someone to catch? VW exec Stuart Johnson is on video saying they discussed testing on humans. So it appears that not only did Volkswagen fund them, but it wouldn't be crazy to assume that they had further conversations about the actual tests being done. Especially because one of the big parts of this whole study was that they were getting real-time results. Yet it appears these groups are acting like they just handed money off and they were like, well, whatever, you just let us know what happens with whatever. No, we don't need to know what's happening. You do you. And as of today, that's where the story's at. It'll be interesting to see what happens, any more information comes out. And I just gotta say, big props to Volkswagen. I didn't think I could be more disgusted with their company, and then boom, somehow they pull it out of their ass. Then let's talk about Release the Memo. You might have seen this trending, maybe it was popping up in your timeline, you don't know exactly what's up. Well, there have been reports of a secret memo that shows that the Justice Department and FBI have held anti-Trump bias since the start. The memo is supposed to detail abuses the FBI and Justice Department officials took during their investigation on the Trump campaign and subsequent Mueller investigation. And the issue that sparked the memo is when Deputy Attorney General Rod J. Rosenstein in the spring of 2017 reportedly asked for a renewal of the FISA warrant on Carter Page. So more surveillance on Carter Page, who was a Trump campaign advisor until June of 2016 and has been under investigation by the FBI since 2013. Reportedly in 2016, Carter Page, while working on the Trump campaign, took a trip to Russia that raised concerns within the FBI. In fall of 2016, the FBI received a FISA warrant to do secret surveillance on him. Sources reportedly telling the New York Times the renewed warrant showed that the Justice Department under President Trump saw reason to believe that the associate, Carter Page, was acting as a Russian agent. However, reportedly the memo claims that they shouldn't have been able to get the warrant on Page for one main reason. Investigators never properly showed that they had probable cause for surveillance. And the reason for that being, much of their information was tainted, being heavily reliant on the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier, of course, was the document that alleged that a Trump P-tape existed. It was also paid for by the Democratic Party. It's seen by many as a political hit piece. And so one of the theories around this is that Rosenstein and the FBI are trying to cover up an illegal spying operation against Carter Page by extending the warrant, making it seem like they actually had something. But as of right now, it's unclear if the FISA court extended the surveillance of Page. Now, Republicans in the House want the release of the memo, saying it helps show that the Justice Department at the top level has anti-Trump bias, and in connection with that would help undermine the whole Mueller investigation. Republican Representative Ralph Abraham tweeting, "I have read the Nunes memo. Devin Nunes is the author of the memo. In the interest of promoting transparency and accountability within the federal government, I believe it should be released to the general public, and I hope the Intelligence Committee votes to do so." Now, Democrats on the Intelligence Committee claim that the memo is written in a way to distort the facts. And if the memo does end up getting released, there are reports that the Democrats will release their own memo in response, which they say will paint a clearer picture. Now, I'm filming this midday. The House could vote later today to release the memo. Now, as far as where the Justice Department stands, they really do not want this to happen, saying in a letter to Devin Nunes that releasing the memo would be extraordinarily reckless. As far as where the White House stands, it is very unlikely that they would block the memo's release. The White House releasing a statement saying, "The president has been clear publicly and privately that he wants absolute transparency throughout this process. Based on numerous news reports, top officials at the FBI have engaged in conduct that shows bias against President Trump and bias for Hillary Clinton. While President Trump has the utmost respect and support for the rank-and-file members of the FBI, the anti-Trump bias at the top levels that appear to have existed is troubling." Now, a big update to this story today is that acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe has stepped down. He will reportedly remain on payroll until March, when he's eligible for full benefits, and the person replacing McCabe is Associate Deputy Director David Bowden. And people are of two minds on this, some saying, see, he was involved in some way, and others saying, no, we knew this was going to come. And the reason for that is this retirement announcement isn't coming out of nowhere. There are reports last month saying McCabe would be retiring early 2018. But for many, the timing does seem weird. Although according to Fox News, they say they have a source that says that he was essentially removed. This is what they essentially call terminal leave, so you go on vacation, but you're never coming back. Also pair that with McCabe having come under fire for a while now. This because reports came out that his wife, a Democrat, had received $700,000 from sources that many think have deep ties to the Clintons. But it is also important to know that she received that money when she was running for Virginia State Senate. Reportedly, she received over $467,000 from then Governor Terry McAuliffe's Political Action Committee, McAuliffe being a political ally and personal friend to Bill and Hillary Clinton, and over $207,000 came from the state's Democratic Party. But that said, that's where we are as of right now. Things could drastically change just this afternoon. And I'll pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts around this story? Should it be released? Yes, no? Do you think this is a real issue, or this is going to be something meant to distort the facts, to undermine the Mueller investigation? I'd love to know your thoughts, your reasons, all in those comments down below. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I'm trying to do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss these daily videos. Which actually, if you did miss the last Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want to watch the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.